If you're valuable, a person doesn't want to do what you don't want, and they don't want to do what you don't like.
You're going to do that because you care about the person, because that's what a relationship is. It's not just, I'm going to do whatever I want and you're going to do whatever you want. We live together. That's where people are at. And that's why it doesn't work.
People oppose all this stuff that we say. They're like, oh, bachelorette and bachelor parties, or girls night out and guys night out, or sharing your location. And why do you want to be in a relationship to restrict someone? Like I'm going to do whatever I want and she should be able to do whatever she wants. And it's like, no, that's not how it works.
Well, I actually wrote down while you were talking a similar thing. Like, it's the concept of power that messes everybody up, right? Because this woman's trying to control this man to get him to do what she wants.
Right.
And sometimes men do the same to women. They try to get them to do what they want. Right. And power is not getting somebody to do what you want. It's not forcing somebody to do what you want. It's not whatever way you express it to get what you want.
Right.
Actual power, when you have actual power,
right,
it's walking away.
Yeah.
It's things that you can do,
right,
not what you can force other people to do.
Right.
And that is walking away. Or like in what you were talking about, like listening, but being like, I'm not going to do that, but I appreciate, like, you can still not do what someone is telling you to do.
Right.
And be respectful about it, right? Or you can, if you have to walk away from somebody like Tim in the episode, right? He'd be like, look, like, I care about you, but you crossed my boundary. And this is probably the last time we're going to talk to each other, right? Like that is power. In what you can do is power. Right. That's the only way you can have power is in what you can do.
Right. Yeah. And influence, right? If you influence people, if you can influence people, then you have power.
But how do you influence people? By what you do.
Exactly.
By
that's what I'm talking about.
You do.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why it all boils down to what you do. And that's why you have to have self-respect. You have to have confidence because it's about what you do. And if you're not confident in yourself or what you feel like you're capable of, then you're going to have fear and you're going to try to control people.
Exactly. That's why I tell men, tell a woman what you want and what you don't like. And that's all. Not what to do. What you want and what you don't like. If she's not doing what you want and she's doing what you don't like, you're gone. And that's your influence, is because if you're valuable enough, a person doesn't want to do what you don't want and they don't want to do what you don't like.
Well, they want to respect the person that they care about and they don't want to hurt them. And that's why also when she was talking to him, I'm like, you don't even care about this man, really. Not really.
Right.
Like, people think they do, but they don't. Because if you did, him saying, hey, this hurt my feelings, or, you know, I don't like when you do this.
Right.
Like, you would care about that. You would care about the person that you care about saying those things. And unless it was something absolutely crazy, which I doubt it would be.
Right.
You're going to do that because you care about the person, because that's what a relationship is. It's not just, I'm going to do whatever I want and you're going to do whatever you want. We live together. That's where people are at. And that's why it doesn't work.
Yeah. And
that's why it doesn't work at all. That's why it's two people living together, being roommates. And that's why this seems normal to everybody, but it's not normal.
Yeah. And that's what, and we were talking about this last week. That was one of the topics, was that, because we were talking about how people oppose all this stuff that we say. They're like, oh, bachelorette and bachelor parties, or girls night out and guys night out, or sharing your location. And why do you want to be in a relationship to restrict someone? Right? Like I'm going to do whatever I want and she should be able to do whatever she wants. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. That's how it works. Be
single.
Yeah. A relationship doesn't work like that. There are rules. There are boundaries. There are things that you do and you do not do.
There's respect for each other.
Yeah. And it has to come from that. Otherwise, what is the point? What are you actually doing? You're just hooking up sometimes. You're just living together. Like, what is the actual relationship part? You just know someone. You just care about someone. That's not it. That's not what a relationship is. It is two becoming one, which means that you can't just be independent anymore. You can't just be like, I'm going to go over here and do this, and I'm going to go over here and do this.
Right.
If you're two becoming one in a relationship, then now you're one entity. So you now have one set of, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. You can't just...
And how do you be one? You have to take each other into consideration.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's not just one person driving the blob of you two as one blob.
Yeah. Well,
like,
you do have to have a leader, right?
But that's different though than like just one person doing all the things and the other person following.
Right.
Like even as a leader, sure, you can say the other person's a follower, but that's not how it actually is. Like the person's leading and taking the other person into consideration. Sure, the other person is following your lead.
Right.
But at the same time, men can't be also like, I'm going to do whatever I want because I'm the leader.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like you have to feel like you're being taken into consideration. And women are afraid that men will just do whatever they want and they have to follow suit. Or men will just tell women what they have to do and women just have to obey. Like that's the extreme versions that these people are afraid of, but that's not the reality. And like you said, if you care about the person, then you take them into consideration. Like it's not a second thought. It's not like, oh, I want to do this. Wait, let me think of what. No, you already know. Like, hey, if I want to do this, then so and so might feel this way about it, and I should think about that. Like it's built in.
Yeah, because it's a difference between ownership and stewardship. Right? Like ownership is this is mine. I can do whatever I want with it. Stewardship is this is mine to take care of. Right? And there's a huge difference between those two. And that's why it's like, yeah, if you're a steward of something, like you're a steward of the relationship as a man, then it's not just you can do whatever you want. It's you are the one who is making the decisions and setting the direction, but you're doing it in regards to the person, you know, to the best interest of the entity, of the relationship, not to your own best interest. You know, that's which should be your own best interest, is the interest of the relationship.
Yeah,
but
exactly. But people do get it mixed up, and like women are afraid of a dictatorship, and you know, men are afraid of being walked all over by a woman or disrespected, and you know, and so it's all sort of messed up. But I think
better than perfect, we stand.